What's up, you guys? This is your psycho host, Psycho Alex, with shenanigans and more. And again, shenanigans and more. Sorry I've been away for so long. Life. And I'm always blaming life. But it's really difficult to not just get the energy, but get all this preparations going and ready before. And I think you can probably tell I don't have my beautiful, light that will make me all shiny and bright. But that's okay. We're gonna make do with what we got, right? And I just wanted to make sure we get an episode done. Finally back home and with real content. And of course, you could not have Luna on the background making noises. Yeah, gotta love the shenanigans dog. Also, it was my mama's birthday. I'm sure you guys saw, because 920 something of you saw that. Thank you. Appreciate the love. What's it called? I got a new phone. I'm trying this thing. This is the first episode. You're gonna probably see me all my pimples and like faces and shit. But there's not a lot of light, so you might not be able to get it. Anyway, so for today's episode, I've been honestly genuinely contemplating what kind of episode to do. I've posted a lot of dumb shit on Instagram that a lot of you guys have voted on and that I'm excited to talk about. But a lot of it requires more people, and a lot of the good viewed videos or more viewed videos require me to have my special guests and my friends and stuff, and that's kind of what has me in a limbo and a lot of struggle and a little stressed, I'm not gonna lie, because we're human and we're adults and we have so much other shit in our lives to do that it's become really difficult to like just talk about it and get together and stuff. But regardless of that, say hello to my Care Bears. For those of you who saw my shenanigans post on Instagram, I did wanted to make an episode about like what was your favorite toy as a toddler, or something that you longed for that you didn't probably have or couldn't get at the time. And for me, it was my Care Bears. Say hi. I know I look childish, but it's okay. It'd be good for foreplay. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I ended up getting these. They're super cute and super awesome, and I don't know, healing the inner child and whatnot, and I've been doing a lot of self-work and all this stuff, which is what has inspired this new episode that I will get right to it. So, now that I have verified we're still recording, a lot of the stuff that has had me, drained and just like not having my creative energy to bring you guys stuff has been I don't know. Honestly, I feel like just a creative blockage. I feel like not just that I haven't had like immense successful views, but just so that like I've been doing a lot of self-work and trying to again heal my inner child and work on myself and do better by me. So it motivated me to bring up this topic that is self-reflecting episode about have you held yourself accountable lately or ever in your life for anything and everything that has happened in your life to you because if we think about it, like, what the hell does that even mean, right? Holding yourself accountable. And I guess it's a lot to talk about, right? But it's also I guess you reach a point in your life where you want to be able to know, am I really just a victim and all these things that have happened to me, I've had no control over? Or have I been a victim of domestic violence, or not just life itself, but like, events that could have changed your life? But the accountability that I'm talking about is when those tragedies happen to you, or when those events happen to you, what did you do after? Right? Like, how did you get out of it, and what have you done about it? And I feel like me currently, I'm in a place where I'm not necessarily happy. I know that um I keep blaming the pandemic and things that happened after the pandemic, that have me stuck, per se, of where I'm at right now. And sure, but there's a lot of people out there that did never stop working. There's a lot of people out there who could not stop working because they didn't have the advantages that I did, that I was in unemployment, and that I could get benefits, and that I can still have a roof over my head. And there were people out there who still had to struggle, and not struggle, who still had to hustle and do everything they can to keep on living and to make it better, and they didn't become victims of the pandemic, or of the situation, or of life. So how have I held myself accountable and taken care of the things that I keep causing or calling myself a victim for? Please ignore Mr. Rocky. Oh, I love him, but he's my neighbor's dog and can never shut up. So, have you taken accountability of your actions and all of what's going on in your life currently? And that's homework for you guys. That's questions for you guys to answer for me. Because I didn't actually have time to post it, and a lot of times you guys don't answer. But what is it? Like, what have you done, or what do you think, taking accountability for your actions means, and what have you done that reflects that? Or where are you at this point of your life? Have you reached the goals that you had set for yourself? And if not, what do you need in order to reach those goals? And also, I'm not talking about like criticize yourself and judge yourself and take yourself down and break yourself to pieces, because I used to do that, and sometimes I still do. And I'm trying to change that about myself, because if, just like in the friendship episode or in the self-love episode where I told you guys, if you get to treat a friend with so much more love, why can't we give a little bit of that to ourselves? Why can't we love ourselves and be good to ourselves and not hurt our feelings and tear ourselves down? And that's not what I'm trying to do with holding yourself accountable. But it stirred all these feelings for me, because I've been dating on and off, and then I would stop, and then after my engagement breakup, and then I was like in situationship with someone who was not good for me, and I knew that, and then I just abruptly just stopped everything. And then now I'm in a weird situation again, and it's just like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Or why do I keep trying to be with people who sometimes may not necessarily want to be with me or show that they want to be with me? Why can't I just be with myself and love myself and be enough for myself? And once upon a time, when someone comes and actually has an offer that I'm willing to take, then take it. And so that has me worked up and thinking about holding myself accountable for feeling like is anyone ever gonna love me? Am I not lovable? Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of us, have questions ourselves like that. Or even if you are in a relationship, like, is this really how it's gonna be for the rest of my life? Am I really gonna be in this relationship that doesn't make me happy for the rest of my life? And, I'm not saying leave your partner. I'm just saying, like, what actions can you take to make the situation better? What actions have you done, and what victimization feelings have you put yourself through or in yourself that now you're saying, oh, well, this only happened to me because I this situation? And the truth of the matter is, if you hold your accountability, and you move forward from there on, and you decide to do something better for yourself or for your kids, or most importantly, first yourself, because then you can do that stuff for your kids once you do that for yourself. But um you know you can change that. You can become better for that. um so the pandemic has left us in a weird, almost depression after, which I think a lot of us did leave us depressed. Not just the solitude, not just the loss of interaction with people. A lot of people that I know, that I've met recently, have had like social anxiety, that it would have been um you know moderate when we were social, but after having to be so antisocial and restricted for so long, that now when people are trying to be back out in the world, they get anxiety just by being in a room semi full. And no judgment to you, but you have to find ways to make that better for yourself. And not because you have to be social, but because I can only sense the overwhelming feeling of someone having an anxiety attack, and not knowing what to do or how it even started. While it could be just because you're in a really social aspect of it, and not others, but um like I mentioned, it has left a lot of us with depressed, and some of us not. But it also, I feel like the positive effect it has also had in a lot of people um is for a lot more people to do and become awakened, to process their emotions, or to um understand that it's not just about the fancy restaurant you go to. It's not just about the money you blow up at the club. It's not just about the friends you have who are there when you pay the drinks, but the friends you have when you get COVID, and like you're stuck at home in solitude, and they pull up and they bring you groceries, and like you doing the same kind of service for other people or their friends. Like um I feel like a lot of us were able to understand that if something were to happen to us, there's a handful of people who I'm sure you can count on now, or there's a three hands of people who you can't count on now, right? And who you might have hold those people closest and dearest to you, and like now that now you're seeing all of that, you know um and also I feel like a lot of us through all of this have learned empathy. I myself, I'm not saying I didn't know. I was never empathetic, but I didn't understand what that meant. And I feel like I have learned to be empathetic with other people, but also, and most importantly, if this like self-reflecting episode is that I've learned to be empathetic with myself, to um care for myself, to forgive myself, to allow me to feel the emotions that I feel, and to allow, like, give myself that permission to not be perfect all the time, which I'm not, right? I wasn't before, and I sure as hell I'm not now. But I feel like I would never allow myself to be vulnerable. I will never expose myself to people create friendships where I would actually open up fully, and I would always just kind of like tell you something and tell you something and tell you something, and not allow anyone to get to know me fully, or to get to know me well, and really get to see me cry, or understand my biggest fears and my biggest failures and my you know, everything. And I feel like slowly but surely, these 2 years, and recovering and trying to get out of it now, like all of us going back to the workforce and all this stuff, like it has taught me to do that for myself. It has taught me to allow myself to feel, and allow myself to hurt, and allow myself to turn off, you know, to take the time off, to really be off, not be on social media. Okay, maybe that one I'm working on. but that's also why I close, like not close, but I also why I don't really go on my personal account, and I only use the shenanigans one, because I only want to be able to use something that, like, stuff that's relatable to it. And I know that lately I haven't, so I'm holding myself accountable for that. There. But you know, I'm working on it, and you also have to learn that if there's shit you don't want to do, shenanigans, if there's shenanigans you don't want to do, that you don't have to do it anymore. You know, you don't have to have that social commitment to go out and do these things and like be forced or feel like you have to. At least personally, I feel like, you know, learning more about myself and loving myself and setting those boundaries, even with friendships, or especially with family, especially because I don't like to go to places. Even as a little kid, I didn't like to go to places where I didn't feel comfortable. And I don't mean like comfortable like that weird uncle that gives you weird vibes. No, I mean comfortable where I can sense that people, or I got to experience where family members will say things about me or my family, and I didn't understand why they expressed themselves that way, because we were family. You know, why a little kid was being judged, and I didn't understand it, and I didn't like the feeling, but I was always forced to go or to like talk to these people. And now, if I don't fucking feel like it, guess what? I ain't going. I can drop you off. I can wave goodbye. I can send my gift, you know. But if I don't feel welcome, I no longer feel like I have to be, you know, doing these things. If I committed to a social event with friends and stuff, and I just don't have the energy to do it, now I give myself that permission, and I decline, and I apologize, you know. I love and hate to see the memes where like me walking to a situation where like I had made plans when I was happy and feeling the vibe, and that always happens, you know, but you're able to say no, you know. And I'm totally getting off topic, but I wanted to make an episode where you guys kind of, where I was able to express myself genuinely, because I feel that that is what's creating this like creative block, where I want to talk about great things, all these topics that I had thought about and that I was excited about making when I was writing them down. But now that I have 2 pages worth of topics, the energy and the creative thought and the initial drive to make those episodes is not there anymore. And so I feel like it has put me in a place where I can be genuine, and that's one of the things that I care most about. I want to communicate. I want you guys to hear things that no one else, that everyone is thinking, but no one else dares to ask. But all of the topics that I was bringing up or that were suggested to me were great at that time, but I'm not driven now to talk about. And this particular thing about holding myself accountable, about where we are at, and about accepting that I may not be at almost 32, you know, married and in a house and with a millionaire and living my best life, but I feel like having children or whatnot, or in Hawaii for my honeymoon or whatnot. But you know what? I am where I am, and that's okay. And I'm working and I'm doing the best I can, and I'm trying to do the best I can and hold myself accountable for my current, place. Do I want to be here stuck in this place emotionally, physically? Living arrangement situation, job situation? No, I do not. But I'm not where I was a year ago, where I kept saying I need to change jobs, I need to make more money, like, so I'm working on it. We're all working on it, and that's totally cool. Just like I kept coming back around this feeling of victimization and feeling like, oh, poor me, that if it wasn't for the pandemic, like, I would have been living in Washington where I wanted to live. If it wasn't for the pandemic, like, I would have gone on that beautiful vacation I had planned to PR. If it hadn't been, but reality, girl, reality, really, would you have really made it another year without going to PR because you didn't fucking go get your paper and you didn't go and do your adulting stuff where you could have gone a flight and gone out and saved that money? Like, really it was a pandemic. No, it really wasn't the pandemic. It was my actions. It was stuff that, yes, I had money saved that I ended up having to use in the pandemic, but I know that there were people that had to really use their savings because they had no other way. And I got new hobbies with that money, while I was stuck at home. It didn't mean that I couldn't have kept it saved. And then when the pandemic shit, like, got lifted, then I could have gone to my vacation. I could have gone on my trip and done all these things that I was like being a victimized, making myself a victim because of the fucking thing, the pandemic and all the other shit. And true reality was that I didn't do those things because I didn't fucking do the things. I didn't take the steps and take the responsibility and the actual work to do those things. Otherwise, I would have been able to go. Fucking flights were so cheap. I could have fucking gone. And right now, my living situation would have been different if I would have saved money, if I would have, hold myself accountable and stop fucking blaming everything on the pandemic and on the fucking life. How I start my episodes now, apparently. So do a little review of yourself. Set your new goals, Again, don't tear yourself down, because trust me, I know we do that. Trust me, I do that. And it's not good, But with a genuine message and a genuine belief that we can all hold ourselves accountable and that we can do better and that we don't have to tear ourselves down, I want to tell you guys very beautifully a little quote that I got: personal accountability requires mindfulness, acceptance, and courage, by Shelby Martin. And I feel like I couldn't have said it best. Courage, I think, mostly because it's so easy and you don't have to be strong and responsible to just say, this happened to me because of so and so. I'm where I am because of so and so. I can never be what I wanted to be because of so and so. And if we get to do a little retrospect in our lives, especially after the whole 2 years that we've been living as a world, not even as a country, as a world, we can actually do a lot more for ourselves. You know, if we could do so much for our loved ones, for our friends, for our boyfriends who may be there or may not be there tomorrow, why can't we do all of that with love for ourselves? So let's work on that. You know, let's do something that is gonna benefit you in the long run and in the present. That's gonna, even if it's hard, even if it's scary, trust me, courage will be needed. Acceptance of things that we cannot control. I, as a control freak, I can tell you it is not the easiest part. I think perhaps courage would come easier than acceptance to me. I think courage would probably come easier to me than acceptance, and accepting the things that I cannot control are just so difficult to even think about, you know? But with all honesty and with a genuine message for you guys, we can do it. Most definitely, we can do it. We can be better. We can understand each other better, love better, give our children the everything we know, you know, and everything we learn to make them better, you know. And I hope that one day I get to teach that to my children. I want to be able to say I taught them early on, you know, like parents who brag about their kids learning how to read early. No judgment, just saying, because I totally want to be one of those. But you know, I want to be able to teach my children things that I wish my parents could have taught me, or that they couldn't learn themselves younger, right? Like holding yourself accountable and being able to have your responsibilities, not someone else's. You know, that's another thing that I'm dealing with, trying to let go and accept the things that were not my responsibility, the things that were not in my control, the things that I can't or could not have control over, and also take the accountability and responsibility for the things that I can, which if it poured rain and drowned my house, that was completely out of my control, right? But could I stay in the house, in the roof of my house, and mope over for weeks and say, oh my god, all my stuff is gone? Or could I actually get the fuck up and find the courage to sort my shit out and get what's salvageable and find a way to make my life all over again, right? Probably was a terrible example, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's, we can't continue to create and make ourselves victims. You know, I was having a conversation with someone I love very dearly, and you know, they were telling me, am I never gonna find love because of my karma? Like, have I really been this really bad person that I'm never gonna be loved, and that I'm never gonna find a partner and all this stuff? And I couldn't help but felt triggered. I feel like after I processed it, of course, but like right at the beginning, I was just annoyed by this person's comments. Like, that's not how it works. You know, that's not how that happens. You yeah, sure, karma may be a thing, or is a thing. I believe in it. You know, not all of you might, but karma is a thing. But also, just like you may have done bad, you also have done good, and you can also get rewarded. But that's not how the whole love thing works, right? It's not just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna do this good karma and I'm gonna treat all my partners great, and then I'm gonna get the right person to come in and treat me great. But what I was trying to tell her is, have you had accountability for yourself? Have you, you know, accepted yourself and loved yourself and giving yourself the very best care, or the very best you know, love, and leveled yourself up to be able to receive someone that you deserve? Or do you continue, like myself in my earlier comment, to accept people who are not great, to continue to search or catch, or mostly accept? You know, I'm not saying that we all need to just get offers, but I'm saying, like, even if I go out and look, right, and accept this person's terms, or what they can offer and just take it just because I'm lonely, that's on me, right? Because I can also just stay by myself, like I said, and just keep on doing my thing and loving myself, focusing on myself, doing my work, taking care of everything, and my annoying Luna, and taking care of my podcast and doing all this work. And when it happens, it happens. But we are so caught up in like all this stuff of like, oh, is this really what I'm ever gonna be? Oh, am I ever gonna be happy? Like, happiness is not like you reach a game level and that's it, happily ever after, or a game level and you have beat all the bad people and now you are the greatest boss of all. Like, no, that's not life, right? Happiness can be moments. Happiness can be memories. Happiness can be you feeling achieved, you feeling successful, you loving yourself, you finally reaching that fitness goal, that health goal, that that wonderful vacation you've worked your ass off for, or finding that place where you can call home and feeling happy every time you come home, even if it means that you're gonna spend every fucking dime that you make at your job. But that's what the happiness is, not a fucking happy ending level, not you getting to the gold pot at the end of the rainbow. I feel like I may be wrong, but I think that even if you find a perfect partner, even if you're at a level where you can feel yourself, you are at the highest success of yourself, like, there's always going to be something more to learn. There's always going to be something more to find, to experience. I really highly doubt that even if you were to live 100 years old, you would be able to experience everything and anything in this fucking world. Like, there's so much, so many people you can meet, so many things you can learn, so many languages, so much we could do that, you'll never finish. So there will always be something new to learn. There will always be something new to experience. We live in this society where they pressure us so much to have the wife, the husband, the children, the house, the white picket fence, my ex used to call it, dream, the American dream, and the successful story, and the greatest career of your life, and all the stuff that was like, the perfect dream, like the movies. But in reality, again, in my opinion, and again, this is only my opinion, and this is shenanigans and more, is happiness is those moments that you get, that you live today, right, in the present. And it's gonna be those moments that you celebrate with your genuine friends, with the people that you love and the people that care about you, and or co-workers, or like people, random strangers, maybe even, but you get to experience all of that by loving yourself, holding yourself accountable, and being the very best version of yourself. And I feel like I've ranted too much for maybe 45 minutes already, but I just want to tell you guys that this is my genuine message. This is something that I really wanted. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about today. I didn't even feel like recording. I haven't been feeling like recording, if I'm all honest. I barely made that last episode at the beach, and that's probably why it only has 5 views. But it's just so much in the world happens and has been happening. I hate to watch the news and to talk about it, but I hate to see that people lose their lives because of violence and because of everything that's going on, and how everybody likes to talk about everything, and there's always some fucking agenda. And then today as well, you know, hearing people talk about Johnny Depp. I'm a huge Johnny Depp fan. For those of you who don't know, those of you who are my friends, you guys know he's my husband. He just doesn't know it. And it has affected me a lot, like, not personally like that, but like all these things in the statement that she put out there, not just about him, but about like how this case has hurt and affected women from the domestic violence aspect. And if you guys have watched my domestic violence episode, you know, you guys have heard me talk about it, how it's bad, and it could be done to men, right? It could be done to men by other men. It could be done by men from other women. And just because he's famous and she's famous and they have a stupid she said case court thing, doesn't mean that it wasn't real, that it could not have happened to him, right? Just because he's a white man, or just because he's an actor and he's famous, and because he was drinking or doing drugs or whatever the fuck they want to use against him, like, my point about this is, like, so much crap is going on that all I really think of, you know, I can follow it, I can listen to it, I can't listen to it because I hate. The point is, but my stuff is important, and I come first, and my accountability for my responsibility for my things is what matters, and I think that you guys should do the same. I'm not going to continue ranting about it because I'll continue and it's not fair to you guys. I'm probably going to cut all of it out. But the point is, self-reflecting episode. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at the mirror. Take a look at your self-love and figure it out. Love yourself. Appreciate yourself. Hug yourself. Hold yourself accountable. And take responsibility for what's yours, and leave everything else. I feel like that was the point of the episode. Leave everything else. Everything else that's not yours, let it fucking go. And that, I'm gonna replay this to myself. Everything that isn't yours, let it fucking go. Say it with me. Everything that isn't yours, let it fucking go. Because we are only responsible for ourselves and for those actions and things that we need to take care of and handle. But everything else, and everyone else's emotions, and everyone else's bullshit, and everyone else's manipulation and victimization, that's theirs. That's their responsibility. That's their homework to do. Your homework is you. And that's all I got for you guys. And this is your psycho host, Psycho Alex, with Shenanigans and More. I love you guys so much. I will be working on this, I promise. And I'll take responsibility for flaking. And I'll be making more episodes. Thank you so much. Love you guys. And I love Johnny Depp, y'all. Bye. And let's go. Can't leave, sir, ma'am.